my first kind of positive interaction with what might be considered vibe coding is the Copilot autocomplete in Visual Studio Code. When you have that enabled, then suddenly it's guessing ahead. Oh, you're going to write this. And I know what you write and what it looks like. That was like, oh, I can work with this. Like my efficiency, that's what I'm looking for. It kind of started to have a logarithmic approach once Copilot started doing that. So that was really probably my first positive experience. For the past few years, that's been there. But then these vertical ideas, I would just put one into it. I just gave it a loose, kind of like you said, Olaf, a loose idea of the design. I've worked on a number of these in the past. I've written them from scratch. So I knew what I was looking for. And it basically built the whole product. And I was like, whoa, like I just gave it the design. I said, this is not vibe coding anymore, like air quotes, this is something different to me. Now, I think there is a, as a developer with experience, when you have experience, you tend to make a lot of assumptions. Like this was so easy, but it's because I know a lot of things about development and systems. But that was the real light bulb moment for me was that I can write my designs if I know how to write it and I know how to guide the AI and I know how to teach it how I like code written, all the skills I know, all those things in a very safe way, and I understand data security and all these things. It becomes a very powerful tool. And so I would say now, it's what we call vibe coding to me is more like agentic workflow. It's becoming more of an agentic workflow and less kind of the anybody can jump in. I think it's really gotten what I would say serious. Does that make sense? Like it really, it's a factor now. And I think somebody told me if you are a developer and the dividing factor, which is this is probably so basic even to say now, but is going to be the developers that have AI and the developers that don't use AI. That's quickly becoming a dividing factor because the efficiency gain is so great. Like it's when it's that whole concept of like leveraging expertise that AI really, I think, focuses on and allows us to do. Like you said, Olaf, you're like, this is a lot of with the health check. It's basic coding, but you know the concepts, so you can really leverage your expertise. You're not wasting your time with data entry. You're saying, go do these things. I want to see what you do, but do them and then show them to me, and then I can check it off and say that's exactly right. And that's where the value of consulting as a, in any model, whether you're a, whatever your expertise is, it could be shop floor, it could be accounting, it could be development, whatever, that really lets you focus on what you're great at and gets rid of all the data entry and the busy work. That's
And
kind of the way how I've seen it a lot. And I think it's moving more and more that direction. I'm not one of the subscribers that says like our AI overlords are coming for our jobs. I think that's a little bit media attention flashy. I don't go there really. I mean, it's fun to speculate in the future, but right now where AI is at is where you can really plug it into. That's kind of my focus on it.
yeah, I think as Olaf said when he did this, that it was really basic code. It was a lot of code. It was probably time consuming and not really like you had to put a ton of thought into it. So I'm thinking of using this to do that kind of stuff. And then we can be designing new cool things that actually are more complicated, that are working with the business, that are really adding value added solutions, making sure that even though this says, hey, you're missing this setup, this setup, this setup, it has to have someone go in and say, "Oh, yeah, I don't need that." Someone's gonna have to really understand the business, requirements there too, right?
Exactly. Well, and I think the ability to it's different. I think when if you're in a large enough company where you have a very specific set of duties, that's kind of one scenario. But AI is also enabling when you're a smaller group. You have there's a lot of busy work running a company, running a practice, and I shouldn't say busy work. It's not, but it's all important work. But it's repetitive, and it's something when you want to put that kind of AI first model in mind, which is kind of where I'm at these days, is you really find a lot of these tasks you do all the time are perfect candidates for AI agents. And so you start just, having like doing the vibe coding, again, air quotes. It is vibe coding. I'll just call it, sorry, vibe coding. But it frees you up to do those other things too. Cause now like, I'm like, oh yeah, every time I need to write this document or whatever, I've got to do all these fields and all this stuff. I should be able to just do it. But I can work with an AI, again, vibe coding to build it at my own speed when I have time and all that stuff. And it really, allows you to start, scaffolding all this stuff. It's a neat experience. It's a fun time to be in technology.